Brace yourselves because today's training camp update from St. Joseph is filled with shocking news. From star players mysteriously missing to sudden changes on the field, we've got all the details that could shake up the season. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Kansas City Chiefs news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. All right, let's get started with our first story. Rashee Rice was picked up by the Chiefs in the second round of the 2023 NFL Draft, and he's already shown some serious growth. Early on, he was known for his contested catches, but by the end of the season, he turned into a beast after the catch. This transformation came during a season filled with ups and downs, but ultimately, it was all part of the Chiefs' championship journey. Initially, Rice wasn't ready for a big role, so Coach Andy Reid and offensive coordinator Matt Nagy kept it simple for him. And guess what? He thrived. By the end of the season, Rice started showing signs that he could handle more responsibilities. Heading into 2024, the Chiefs are banking on a more well-rounded Rashee Rice, and guess who's his biggest fan? That's right, Patrick Mahomes. Over the weekend, Mahomes shared his excitement about Rice's progress. He's seen Rice grow and believes this will not only help Rice but also the entire offense as he enters his second year. Mahomes said, "He was making that progress at the end of last year. Now he's just continuing to get better and better. I think he came into camp this year in better shape. You can see his explosion catching the football down the field. When he catches the ball underneath, he's getting upfield fast. It's going to help him a ton, just like it's going to help Travis Kelce with those speed guys stretching the field." Let's break down Rice's rookie year. From weeks 1-5, he had only one game with over 50 receiving yards. But over the next 5 games, he averaged around 50 yards per game. From weeks 12-17, he truly shined, averaging 7 receptions and 86 yards per game. During that stretch, he was arguably the most productive pass catcher for the Chiefs. And he didn't stop there. In the playoffs, Rice's best game came in the wild-card win over the Miami Dolphins, where he had 12 targets, 8 catches, 130 yards, and a touchdown. He continued to play a solid supporting role throughout the postseason while Travis Kelce led the charge. With another offseason to work on their chemistry, Mahomes and Rice should have a smoother operation this season. The addition of Marquise Hollywood Brown is also a big plus. Brown's leadership and play have already made an impression on Rice, and the two have been working out together a lot. Mahomes said, "Him and Hollywood, it's like they're always together. They're always working on routes, pushing each other to be great. It's been cool to see Rice's game evolve around another vet receiver. I'm excited for him. He's taken ownership of being one of the older guys in that room, even though he's only 1 year in. I'm excited for him to show what he's truly capable of." Now, we still need to see Rice showcase his improvement in actual games. According to Pro Football Focus, most of his targets last season were within 9 yards of the line of scrimmage with very few deep targets. But if Mahomes is right, a new and improved Rashee Rice could make the Chiefs' offense even more dangerous. The second story is Dave Toub has always been a top-notch special teams coach. And now with the added role of assistant head coach, the expectations are even higher. This year, Toub faces some new challenges with a variety of return options and the NFL's new kickoff rules shaking things up. In a recent media session, Toub shared his excitement and nerves about the new kickoff system. He mentioned, "We've been working on it a lot. We're going to work on it again tomorrow in practice. There are a lot of unknowns with it. How are teams going to attack you? What are the kickers going to do? What's the philosophy? And how are they going to officiate it? We have the officials here, and we're going to sit down today and watch our tape. These preseason games are going to be important for us. Now, let's talk about these new kickoff rules. Basically, players on the kicking and receiving teams will line up closer together, and a landing zone is now considered. This means crisp blocking and timing are crucial, and teams might even try some trickery to get an edge. Toub is also carefully evaluating the punt return position. He mentioned having a bunch of guys out there warming up, but realistically there are about 5 or 6 main contenders. Here's what he said. Punt returner, If you watch when we warm up, I've got like 19 guys out there. But in reality, there are probably 5 or 6 guys that could do it. Xavier, Worthy, no question, Kadarius. Tony is in there, McCole, Hardman, Hollywood Brown. He's an exciting guy to think about that could do it. And the guy that's really done a good job is Nico Remigio. Each of these players brings something unique to the table. Worthy was initially seen as a go-to option. Tony has proven himself on the biggest stage. Hardman has plenty of experience, and Brown's athleticism is promising. Remigio is gaining traction at camp, and let's not forget Sky Moore, who has NFL reps as the Chiefs' punt returner. Toub's approach is all about patience and experimentation, especially during the preseason. While the Chiefs have their offense and defense pretty much figured out, special teams is still a work in progress. This season's preseason games will be crucial in determining who steps up in these roles. The third story is wide receiver Marquise Hollywood Brown wasn't seen at practice today. This is his first absence of the camp, so naturally we're all curious about what's going on. Running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire is also missing in action. He had been briefly placed on the non-football illness list earlier, but had returned before missing any time. We'll keep an eye out for updates on both of these guys. Now let's talk about star defensive tackle Chris Jones. He was at practice, but without his helmet or shoulder pads. This makes his status a bit uncertain. Matt Derrick from Chiefs Digest mentioned that Coach Andy Reid will provide an update after practice. Jones has joked about trying to get a day or two off from Reid, but it looks like there might be more to it today. We'll have to wait and see what Coach Reid says. Cornerback Nazeeh Johnson and wide receiver Justin Watson were at practice but didn't participate in full pads. Johnson is dealing with a hamstring issue from Saturday, while Watson is recovering from a foot injury. As for the rest of our recovering veterans, they were present but also without pads. This includes safety Justin Reid, defensive end Charles Omenihu, cornerback Jalen Watson, defensive tackle Derek Noddy, and guard Joe Thuney. There's some speculation about Hollywood Brown's absence. It might be worth noting that rookie wide receiver Xavier Worthy missed several days of practice due to strep throat and had to quarantine to prevent the illness from spreading. If Brown had a mild injury, he'd likely be there but sidelined. So it could be related to something like strep throat or something else entirely. The Chiefs are being extra cautious, especially since everyone is sharing dormitory facilities.